We need the black and white. We need the
Okay.
data
And do
collection.
you recommend an app for that? Like,
Yeah, I always recommend MyFitnessPal
oh
because
yeah,
it's
I use that. My Fitness Pal.
yeah, it's a tool to
Good.
track your meals
Okay.
and
Yeah.
yes. So
Okay.
then I look at it after a week and I see kind of where their habits are, what they like, and then I can make recommendations and I can actually give them their numbers of what they should, how many
Right.
grams of protein they should be
Okay.
having, how many calories, because if you are wanting to lose weight, you do need to be in a calorie deficit.
Okay.
But eating all that protein, most people are eating, I would say, no more than 60 grams of protein a day when they come to me.
Okay.
And so the majority of people need at least
Mm.
120. Not many people have a
And
goal
how
weight.
do they get that? By eating ribeyes or do they just
It can be eating Greek yogurt, it can be eating
okay.
cottage cheese, it can be eating
Mm.
egg whites, eggs, protein powder, it could be ribeyes, yes, it could be
Okay.
chicken, tuna, salmon, all of the protein sources.
Okay.
But it's getting into a routine of doing it consistently every day.
Right.
That's the key. So, yes, you
Okay.
may be having a pizza night, but get your protein in first.
Got it.
So, that's the
Okay. And that's
key
a very
over
nutritionally
time.
dense too, right? Like it's
Exactly. It's very nutritionally dense. And a lot of people, like when they say, but I eat really healthy, when I look at their meals, it might be a big salad with avocado, with walnuts, with olive oil. And it ends up being like a
meat.
1,000 calorie salad, which
Oh, totally.
with all the fat,
Oh
even
yeah,
though it doesn't
with a
have.
little piece of meat.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's where it needs to change because
Okay.
all those fats, yes, they're very healthy, but they're not going to increase your lean muscle mass. And that's what you
Right.
want to do to get your body working for you.
Okay. Excellent. So we've got, so now we've talked about protein. Is there anything else that you focus on, like
I
sleep
focus
or
on a
stress?
lot. Yes. Yes. All of those things, sleep, stress. We do mindset work
Mm,
because it's a lot about the stories we tell ourselves. Like, as I just said to you, so many people come to me and say, I'd love to be this weight, but I know I can't do that. Like, I'm 50 now. How am I going to get
I
to
would really
50?
like to talk to you about that mindset because I mean, I just find that when I go out or anything, whenever there's a discussion, for some reason, it just always ends up talking about health and fitness and weight. Like it really
Oh,
does. And I hear so many limited beliefs and
yes.
that shift in the mindset where, I don't want to say you're wrong. Like that's just an excuse because then, I'm trying to be like, oh, tell me more about that. But, you know, I actually wrote them down. So I want to ask you, what would you say if somebody said, because you hear these all the time, is this is a really good one. There, and we talk about health issues and why, and it's like, okay, let me just tell you, it's called menopause.
I love this one.
It's like it's just what my body's going through hormonal changes, and you know what, I've just gained the weight. How do you
Okay.
deal with that?
Because I'm the professional. So, and I'm 50. So I've had two kids. I have teenagers, menopause. Yes. So
Okay.
I have dealt with, I would say the majority of my clients now are in their late 50s who have gone through
Okay.
menopause. So I've gone through it with a lot of different people and
Okay.
they're in great shape. It is
Okay.
the lifestyle. So lifestyle is the first thing that you've got to, before you go running to your doctor to get hormone replacement therapy, get your
Right.
lifestyle in check. So if you're
Okay.
having 2 glasses of wine every night to relax after your stressful day, that's not going to help your hormones. That's going to help you in the moment, relax. But that's when you should get home from work, get home from driving the kids, whatever, go for a walk, get
Okay.
outside, get your stress level down.
Okay.
Unfortunately, the time that menopause usually happens is when we're dealing with our kids, we're dealing with quite often our parents, we're
Right.
trying to be the caregivers.
Sandwich generation.
Exactly. That's it.
Mm.
So and it's as women, we take that all on, plus our
Okay.
business, plus the
So
home.
what you're saying is menopause shouldn't be used as an excuse.
Not at all. There's
Okay,
no
so here's
reason.
another one I hear a lot is, and we have 10 more minutes. That'll bring us to
Okay.
40 minutes. So I'm injured or I'm on medication.
Well, depending on what the injury is, we can, say it's a broken leg or an arm, we can always do lower body exercises or upper body, whatever is injured. If that's the case, you might not be able to do your walking.
Right.
Maybe you can go on a bike instead, but there's always ways you can work around it. I mean,
Okay. Or
I mean,
focus
it's
on
a
the other
full body
things,
cast.
right? Like,
Yes. And if you just can't do exercise because of the injury, we focus on the nutrition. We
okay,
focus on mindset work. We focus on other things until the injury is better. But
perfect.
usually, I can't think of in 25 years that I've had a client that has not been able to do anything because of an injury. Usually, it's one
Okay.
area of the body, right? And we can work on
Right.
something else.
Right. You
Like,
can do
okay,
something else.
if it's plantar fasciitis, yeah, you're
Yes.
not going to be going for a walk, but we can do weights.
Right.
If it's shin splints, well, you're not going to be running and you're not going to be walking downhill, but we can do other things. So
Okay.
you can definitely do
So
upper
there's
body.
always something you can do.
Yeah, like 90% of the time, I can't think of an injury where we couldn't, but I
Well, that's
mean,
great. That's good.
yeah.
So yeah, another excuse. So I have one more.
Oh,
And
and medication.
and this one I hear a lot. I hear a lot of this one. It is um I've tried so many times and I failed. And I
Yeah,
failed. And it's almost like it's just
give up.
I've given up.
Well, what I say to that is fail forward. Learn from those mistakes
Oh,
and let's try something new. Have you tried this? You probably have not worked with a health coach because or I'm not sure how much you get into the health arena, Lisa. So maybe you kind of do the same thing. When I'm working with a client, I work with them for 3 months and I am on a half an hour phone call with them a week and I'm keeping them accountable, but
right.
I'm also educating and talking them off the ledge sometimes.
Right.
And I'm keeping
Mm,
them consistent.
mm.
That you've tried so many times. Have you tried 3 months consistently doing the same thing? Or
Oh,
has it been
that's
a
good.
month and say, fuck it, it's not working.
Right.
Sorry, my language. Um, it's not working. I'm giving
Right.
up. Or I did it for 2 weeks and then I had a bad weekend. So then I'm just
Yeah.
giving up. You
Because we
can't
get to that point. We don't get to that point in
exactly.
two
You
weeks.
don't give
We get
yourself
to
enough
that
time.
point in 2 years or 20 years.
Exactly. Yeah. It
So
has
to
to be
think that
consistent.
in 1 month or 2 weeks that, yeah, okay, I might have lost a couple pounds, but really the journey back to yourself, to your best self takes longer
Yeah, it does.
than
And I
than
would say it takes consistency plus the right action plan. So
okay.
if you are not doing the right thing, it's going to be like without the protein, if you're just eating less, like say you decide, okay, I'm going to go on a diet, I say, and I'm going to eat 1,200 calories. Well, unless you're a very small woman, you
Mm,
should be eating way more than 1,200 calories. And no
mm.
wonder you're not being able to stick to it. That's like impossible.
Yeah,
It,
because you'll
no
just end up
way I
binging
can do that.
after probably 3 weeks.
Pardon?
You'll probably end up binging after 3 weeks.
Oh, I'd be lucky if I made it a week. Yeah, it just wouldn't happen. So it has to be, that's why most people say when I work with them,
Yeah,
how do you expect me to eat this much protein? Like this is so hard. They feel
yeah,
stuffed. And
right.
your body switches though. After
Oh,
about 3 weeks, then you start craving it. And it's a complete switch over. So
okay,
it's interesting. You just haven't got the right program, I would say, to those people. I've
okay,
tried and tried and tried. It's a whole different thing when you're working like this.
okay.
But
Excellent.
fail forward, you are going to learn something from that
Fail
experience.
forward, everybody.
And
I,
I think
I
that's
love it. We should do a song, Fail Forward.
I think that's really in every aspect of our life, not just
Yeah,
in work, right? Like
yeah,
we're not always going to be perfect or get the right results, but it might help you
right.
next time. We have to learn, right, from our mistakes.
Exactly. Exactly.
So,
Just like we did today, you and I.
exactly.
So I have a question for you now. So you
Yeah.
are the health expert, but we are all human. So and how do I phrase this? But is there a health obstacle that you find that you are trying to overcome? What is your health obstacle?
I think I'm pretty balanced right now,
Mhm.
but the thing that would do it, I notice if I do drink alcohol, I don't do it a lot. I'm more of a Christmas time drinker and a summer
Yeah.
patio drinker. But if
Okay.
I do, once I have one or two drinks, I definitely feel like eating more different foods or foods that
Mhm.
You know, my favorite thing is a glass of rosé and a thin crust Italian pizza. I love that. You'll see that in quite a few of my posts, actually.
Yeah.
That's like
Yeah,
my
yeah,
thing. But
yeah.
I can eat the whole pizza, and that's
Oh
not an
yeah.
issue for me
And the
easily.
more wine, if you have a glass of wine, I find that, so I'll just have a glass of wine and a slice of pizza. But once you have the one glass of wine, it turns into another little pour, which is the second piece of pizza. And then you just lose it,
Yeah,
right?
it's very easy to do. So I
Okay.
would say what I've learned from that, though,
Yeah.
is I know that I really enjoy doing that. I like having half a bottle of wine with a friend or with my
Yeah.
husband and having my full pizza, or just about my full. Sometimes I'll leave a piece or two for the next day.
Yeah.
But if I do that,
Yeah.
I have learned